Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk specifically about what's happening with who's winning the election, and specifically why the Democrats are not much farther ahead, and are not as farther ahead. Why Joe Biden is not farther ahead from Donald Trump, and why the Democrats don't even understand why they're trailing Donald Trump, even as they listen to poll after poll after a poll that reassures them that Joe Biden is a lock, right? That he's leading in battleground states, and he's just going to crush Donald Trump. You know, you could see there's like 1,000 stories a week from the media saying Donald Trump is up in this state, saying Joe Biden is up in this state, this state, this state. Even Fox News is saying. That's really interesting when Fox News is saying Joe Biden is up in this state, this state, this state, right? It really makes you wonder, hey, what's happening here? You know, and so I'll tell you right now, I've been saying it for a while. I'm going to continue saying it till the day of the election, unless I see new evidence. And I'm telling you, the evidence I'm seeing very much, I think Donald Trump is actually going to crush. He's going to use exactly the same model as he did in 2016 to win. And the reason why is the media is really the person who is the media is the institution that is making sure that the media is the group that is, in my opinion, most responsible for making sure that the Democrats will lose in 2020. And the reason why they lost in 2016, right? Now, yes, the DNC, the Democrat Party, the Blue Power base, all of them have responsibility, but no one, in my opinion, is more responsible than the media themselves. And one of the things I think is really interesting is it's not a conscious choice from the media. They can't help themselves. So one of the things I think is Donald Trump is one of the most charismatic leaders we've ever seen in 100 years, easily, right? And the reality is he is just an absolute goldmine for the media, because every word that comes out of his mouth is a new story, is a new set of stories, right? He will give you so many things to talk about. You can't even remotely cover you can't even cover a story before he said something crazy that you can cover again, right? And so the media is it's doing every single thing it did in 2016 to ensure that the Republicans win. And the reason why is this specifically, Donald Trump knows how to dominate the media in a way that no other candidate has ever been able to do. And so basically any outlandish thing he says, they cover in depth, and he can use a cycle of surprise and outrage and upsetness to bury stuff when he needs to bury it, and to keep the story focused on whatever he needs it focused on, and more importantly, not focused on the things that he doesn't want the media actually focused on. And so, you know, I really feel like this is the reason why we're seeing what's happening here. Really, really dramatic and, dramatic changes, right? Really, absolutely incredible. So what's happening right now is, I think one of the things that's really fascinating to me is that both the media and the Democrats are really unaware of when they're not in control of their own message, because they don't understand themselves, right? And they don't understand when they're not achieving the goals that they've set, right? So one of the goals that I think the media and the Democrats have both set is to help the needy, to help the people who need help, right? That's a very noble goal, right? Now, there are a couple things that get in the way of this. I think for the media, their desire for ratings often gets them. I think that the media has a genuine care that the needy get help, right? But that care will be washed away in a few short seconds if they have the opportunity to get ratings, right? And Trump knows that he can make them trade ratings for morals any day of the week. He does it constantly. He's so good at it, right? And so that takes the media off the board. He just makes them follow the ratings, and he has given them, like, if you search, news has been outrageously successful since Trump's in, because everybody's watching, right? You know who watches the news about Trump? People who love Trump and people who really don't love Trump. The opposite of loving Trump, right? People who non-love Trump and people who love Trump. So it's the Trump lovers and the Trump non-lovers, right? They all watch news, and so news just has gone through the roof since Donald Trump has been in. It's truly incredible. I mean, it's really amazing to watch this in real time, because you're like, I can't believe this is happening. It really is stunning, right? So one of the things that I think is really important to understand is you have this situation where the media are really, really helping the Republicans, not because they want to, but because they can't help themselves. And they don't know how to stay on target and try to help the needy, which even that is a little bit suspect, because the media, especially when it comes to news organizations, that shouldn't be a goal. They should have a goal of objectivity, which I know that kind of sounds strange, but that, and I think objectivity has been thoroughly abandoned under Trump. It's another Trump symptom, right? Like, Trump has really hit like a comet. He has completely upended the entire political sphere, and nobody in the Democrats played him right, and certainly nobody in the media played him right? Except maybe Michael Moore. Like, Michael Moore saw him coming. One of the reasons why Michael Moore gets listened to so much right now is he predicted that Trump would win, and everybody remembers that, and they're like, oh my gosh, this is a liberal guy who saw this happening and and is on record before Trump won as saying Trump is going to win, right? And it really, people are like, oh, how did we miss it, right? Well, what's really amazing is how much they're missing now. So one of the things that the Democrats have set as a goal is that they really want to help the needy, right? So I'm going to talk about three groups right now. The wealthy, okay, I would say that's people who make $250,000. That's families that make $250K up, okay? Then the wealth adjacent, I would say that's everybody from like $75K up to $250K, and the non-wealthy. That's 74K and below, right? And so those are the non-wealthy, right? So right now, I think the Democrats genuinely want to help the non-wealthy, and so do the media, right? I already explained why the media has no ability to help those people, right? Because they can't help themselves. They will abandon a drive toward helping the non-wealthy the moment they have the opportunity to get ratings, right? So how about the Democrats? Do they have the ability to help the non-wealthy? I think the answer is no. And the reason why, and this is why, in my opinion, Joe Biden is actually trailing Donald Trump in most states, and why Donald Trump is going to walk away with this election as a layup. It'll be so easy. It'll be like a layup for a professional basketball player. It'll just be super easy, right? And the reason why I believe this is I don't think the media has changed at all. They haven't done any analysis. They haven't done the necessary analysis, the depth of analysis that is needed to understand why they were so wrong across the board and could not recognize who was actually going to vote for Trump and who wasn't. And that's the same today. They have not changed their opinion about Trump voters. They haven't, in fact, they've intensified the beliefs they had in 2016, and it blinds them. They can't really see. They can't see their opponent. They can't see who's going to vote for Trump, right? And it's incredibly difficult to vote for Trump. And all those Trump voters realize the secret. They're like, hey, don't tell a soul you're going to vote for Trump, and then just vote for him, right? Just keep your mouth shut, be quiet, don't talk to pollsters, and we will destroy this next candidate the same way we destroyed politically Hillary Clinton, right? And it's on rails. It's a done deal already. It's really, really incredible. So basically, why can't the Democrats help the non-wealthy? Well, here's why, right? So basically, the Democrats, they do really care about their own safety, like in mass, right? And wealthy adjacent Democrats care about their own safety a lot, and it's not selfish; it's just self-preservation, right? But one of the things that they're doing right is they're saying mask up and cave up. Okay, cave up is my own term. Okay, what is cave up? Cave up is when you say, hey, don't go to the movies, don't go to restaurants, don't go out of your house any more than necessary. Get your groceries delivered. Have your kids cyber schooled. Work from home, work remote. Cave up, cave up, cave up. Right? Don't just treat your house as a cave. Nobody leaves your house unless absolutely necessary. Cave up. Mask up, cave up, right? Now, this is being said across the board, across Democrat wealthy adjacent and Democrat wealthy, okay? And the thing is, they think that this is, that this is good for the country and good for everyone, and they also think this is good for the non-wealthy. The problem is the non-wealthy, they can't mask up, they can't cave up. And the reason why is their jobs are physical, right? Many of them don't have the resources to make sure that their kids are cyber schooled. Many of them don't have the resources to work remote, right? And because they're under so much stress, I feel like they might be a little bit more likely, maybe not, right, to actually go out even to just relax because they're under so much more stress than the wealthy adjacent and the wealthy. Because the wealthy adjacent and the wealthy have resources to make sure that their stress levels are managed, right? So the Democrats want to help the non-wealthy, but they're saying mask up, cave up, and that is super, super anti-non-wealthy, right? It really doesn't match their reality. They can't mask up. They can't cave up at the same levels. They can mask up, right? But even that's harder for them. They don't have the money to be buying new, perfect, awesome, innovative masks, right? It's very hard. When they're buying masks, it's so much harder for them because they have to buy and rebuy and rebuy and rebuy masks at a premium because you couldn't buy them early, right? And when they buy these masks, it's coming out of the margin and they're already in the hole, right? It's just so hard for them, right? So this mask up, cave up message that's coming from the Democrat wealthy adjacent and the Democrat wealthy, they think they're helping. They think they're being really helpful and kind to the non-wealthy, but the non-wealthy are like, you're jamming me to a wall, right? The industries I work are dying. The jobs I have are dying, right? I can't mask up. I can't cave up the way you can. I don't have the resources, right? So the reality is, while the Democrats think they have this non-wealthy great message, the non-wealthy really don't even know how to tell the Democrats, you're not helping us, right? Like, these aren't real solutions for us. They're real solutions for you, right? And that is why I think the reality is the Democrats don't even know that they have a very, very anti-non-wealthy, they have an anti-needy platform, right? They have, a mask up, cave up is really, it's a fantasy for needy people, right? They just don't have the resources to do this the way the wealthy adjacent and the wealthy Democrats do. And so I think this is, again, it's just one of the reasons why Donald Trump is going to just run away with this election. He's just going to run away with it. It's going to be an absolute slaughterfest. I'm predicting now Donald Trump crushes Joe Biden in the fall. I think the only thing that could possibly beat him is the hand of fate, right? That these really shocking events that keep happening. Something maybe could happen. It's a low probability because Donald Trump is so good at spinning whatever happens to his advantage, but we'll see. All that's my opinion. What do you think? Do you think that the Democrats, mask up, cave up message is being understood by the needy to be pro-needy? Do you even think it is pro-needy? And that I'm wrong. It's not anti-needy. I'd love to hear your opinion. Let me know in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.